Have you ever wondered why God didn't kill Cain immediately, even after he murdered his own brother Abel? At first glance, this seems unfair, such a serious crime, and yet God spares the murderer's life. Genesis chapter 4, verses 1 through 16. In our human way of thinking, the right thing would be maximum punishment and the end of the story. But God does something that breaks our logic. He confronts Cain, establishes harsh consequences, yet places a sign of protection upon him. Why? Because in God's eyes, a person's story doesn't end even with a terrible sin. Cain was disciplined, marked, and removed, but not eliminated. This reveals something profound about guilt, justice, mercy, and second chances, not only in his life, but in yours as well. Before Cain killed Abel, the battle began within him. God rejects his offering, he becomes furious and dejected, and the Lord warns him, "Sin is crouching at your door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it." Genesis chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. Psychologically, here we see the sequence that many of us repeat: comparison, feeling of rejection, anger fueled in silence, lack of control over impulses. God did not ignore what Cain felt. He confronted him before the worst happened. Spiritually, this shows that God always gives us warnings, invitations to stop, reflect, and choose another path. Cain did not become a murderer overnight. He allowed untreated emotions to turn into action. After the crime, God doesn't pretend nothing happened. He asks, "Where is Abel, your brother?" And Cain tries to evade responsibility. "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" Genesis chapter 4, verse 9. God then reveals what Cain tried to hide and announces the consequences. The earth would no longer respond to him, and he would live as a wanderer. Genesis chapter 4, verses 10 through 12. Psychologically, facing limitations after a serious mistake is part of the maturation process. Those who never face the consequences tend to repeat the same pattern many times. Here we see divine justice. Cain did not escape unscathed. Sin wounded his relationship with God, with the earth, and with people. In modern life, this applies when impulsive choices break trust, family, and work. Forgiveness may come, but it does not automatically erase all the consequences. When Cain hears the judgment, he despairs. He fears being killed and says that his punishment is greater than he can bear. Genesis chapter 4, verse 13 through 14. It is at this moment that God does something surprising. He places a mark on him so that no one will kill him. Psychologically, this scene speaks to those who feel marked by the past, people who carry guilt, shame, and believe they can never again be looked at without condemnation. Spiritually, the mark on Cain is both a reminder of the error and a limit against total destruction. God does not approve of sin, but neither does he deliver Cain's life to human vengeance. In practice, this shows us that divine mercy does not negate justice, but rather balances it. God allows Cain to reap what he sowed, but prevents the story from ending in blood upon blood. He opens space for reflection, repentance, and, if Cain desired, transformation. The story of Cain is not just about that terrible man from the past. It's a mirror for us. Who has never hurt someone with words or actions? Who has never wanted to simply disappear after doing something wrong? Psychologically, serious mistakes tend to throw us into two extremes: despair, "There's no hope left for me," or denial, "It wasn't that bad." God doesn't choose either of these extremes. He makes Cain face the truth, but he doesn't abandon him. Spiritually, this reminds us that God takes sin seriously. There is no romanticizing wrongdoing. God takes people seriously. He doesn't reduce anyone to the worst thing they've ever done. In modern life, this means that someone can have done something very wrong and still have a path to rebuilding, limits, healing, repentance, and a new beginning. God's justice corrects, God's mercy preserves. God's decision to spare Cain shows that for him, the response to sin is not only destruction, but an opportunity for transformation. Consequences do exist. Cain was marked, ostracized, and had to live with the results of what he did, but he remained alive. This, in the language of grace, means there is still time to think, change, humble oneself, and start over. If you carry guilt for something you did or feel marked by past decisions, remember, God doesn't minimize the mistake, but He also doesn't cancel the value of your life. He calls you to account, sets limits, and at the same time, He makes room for repentance and healing. The next time you look at the story of Cain, don't just see a spared murderer. See a God who unites justice and mercy, who confronts sin but doesn't give up on the person. And ask yourself, in what area of my life do I need to stop before I reach the point of Cain? What mistake do I need to bring to God today, trusting that He can transform guilt into learning and setbacks into growth? If this kind of reflection becomes part of your daily life, the story of Cain ceases to be just an ancient text and becomes a living invitation to responsibility, repentance, and real transformation. Comment below, what was the most merciful act that God has done in your life? Subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss out on this fellowship we are building. Grace and peace.